So we'll close our eyes and we'll pray to God, God and the Gurus. Om Bhadram Karnevi Shrunayam Devaha Bhadram Pashyemaksha Virya Jatraha Sthirairangi Istustuvagam Sastanuvihi Vyashema Deva Hitam Yadayaho Swasti na Indra Vridhashavaha Swasti na Pusha Vishwavedaha Swasti na Starsha Aristo Nemihi Swasti na Bruhaspatri Dadhatu Om Shanti 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 Tadvidhi Pranipatena Pariprashnena Sevaya Upadeksanti te jnanam jnanina tatadarshina. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Through this let we perceive goodness in others. Let we hear good things always through our ears. Let we achieve steadiness in our body and mind. O God, please protect us. The knowledge can be attained by three means: humbly bowing at the feet of the masters, the Guru, asking the proper questions, and offering the humble service at the feet of the masters. Om. Amen. My pranams to all of you. Pranam Suresh Baba, Amit Baba, and all of you. Thank you.
Amit Baba, can you talk to us about the importance of this year?
Sure, Baba. My pronouns to all of you. I'm Amit Chatterjee. I'm joining from Seattle, and my pronouns to Suresh Baba and Swami Vairagyananda Giri. So happy to be here with you all. And as Suresh Baba said, this is a special year from us, this a special period starting from June of this year, June 2023, leading up to June 2024. 50 years ago, in 1974, Sri Gurudev left India to travel to the West on June 3rd. So that's a momentous occasion for all of us in this organization, all of us who are associated with this lineage of Kriya Yoga. Of course, we're drawn to the path because Sri Gurudev, 50 years ago at the age of 67, decided to travel to the West under the directions of Mahavatar Babaji and his own guru, Swami Sri Yukteswarji. So we are grateful for this opportunity, and all of the Kriya Yoga international organizations will celebrate these 12 months, once again from June of this year till June of 2024, about the 50th anniversary of Gurudev's travel to the West. So here at Kriya Yoga Institute also, we will dedicate all of our programs which are coming up for the rest of the year and the ones that we will plan for the first half of next year to this occasion. These programs will then be aligned to the theme commemorating 50 years of Sri Gurudev's travel to the West, the vision of the great master. So it is an exciting time. We will soon share some communication with all of you as well as the center leaders. And we are hoping that each one of you, each one in the organization will come up with creative ways of celebrating this beautiful period, deepen our sadhana, remember Gurudev, Shri Guruji more, and really make further progress in this path of Kriya. So that is the big occasion this year.
Thank you very much, Amit Baba. That's wonderful. We have people from all different countries on this line, and some people have asked questions. But since this meeting is open to all the people, Kriyavans and non-Kriyavans, specific questions about Kriya technique, we will try not to answer them. We will talk about Kriya in general, and there are questions about spirituality in general. We will respond to them. So with that, I'm going to dive straight into the questions. We have received several questions from Holland. European culture, I bow to them. They love their dedication. I respect that. So let me read the first question. I have this question about my sadhana. I practice for 3 years now, every day, with discipline, in early morning and before bed in evening. I feel and know I will do Kriya for the rest of my life and hope to find enlightenment in this life, if needed, all my next lives. The point I struggle with is that I often have this feeling I do not do good enough, that I can do better or even more or more often. My mind has accept Kriya during sadhana, but gives me the feeling that they must be done more after sadhana. I see. Can you tell me how I can find rest in this and accept so that I can be okay with what I do now in Kriya? I want to feel joy that what I do is enough for now and do not want to feel guilty when I am taking rest or just do not do anything. This mother from Holland, my God, I bow to you, mother. I mean, this question is a lesson for us. You know, this thirst, unquenching thirst for spirituality and finding what more I can do to serve God. This is beautiful. I feel inadequate to respond to you, but I'm going to try. You know, the feeling that you get that what can I do more? Look, Kriya Yoga is tapaha swadhyaya ishvara pranidhana. Sage Patanjali has defined Kriya Yoga as tapas swadhyaya ishvara pranidhana. That means karma yoga, jnana yoga, and bhakti yoga. Remember, each one of these disciplines of yoga, they are enough to take us to that realization. But karma yoga is the first. We need to find happiness in meditation, but meditation, as you write, is only twice a day. And we need to spend that adequate time for meditation, but rest of the time, we need to be practicing Kriya throughout the day. How do we do that? Our Guruji says that watch your breath every moment of your life. Watch your breath. It will take some practice. But watching the breath is feeling the presence of the divine within us. And then that will ask us a question. What is this life for? Is this life for myself? Do I have the right to live a selfish life? Can I do something for others? Many inspirations will come through this watching the breath. And if we can help others, those in need, 24 hours in a day will not be enough. There will not be any guilty feeling. And you do not need to spend all your time in that. But you can think about others and help others. And that will help you live your Kriya throughout your day. So I hope I'm answering the question. And mother, do not be too hard on yourself. You know, when you practice Kriya, automatically there is peace, automatically there is fulfillment. Concentrating on that, live your life. Jai Guru Mother. Amit Baba, Vairagyananda Ji, if you want to add to this, please.
But I'll add a little bit to this. As you said, it is amazing to see the mother's dedication. I had the same thought that she is practicing Kriya sincerely and she is willing to accept this lifetime or the next. So it is amazing. You're already on this path and you're setting a great example for us. You asked about what more can we do outside of our Kriya practice, and a thought which came to mind, and I was recently speaking to a set of people about this. You know, during our Kriya initiation, we are asked to bring 5 flowers for the initiation. And during the initiation, our teachers explained that, the flower has some beautiful qualities like softness, sweetness, fragrance, purity, and so on. And the thought which comes to mind is, one thing that we can aspire or try to remember is to be like a flower in our daily life, and bring these qualities when we interact with others. As Suresh Baba said, karma yoga, serving others, is beautiful. And when we are serving them, can we be sweet with our words like the flower is? Can the fragrance of our personality shine through, bringing people together? Can we be soft in our interactions? And so on. I think that's another beautiful way to see how we can practice Kriya. We meditate, and then when we are done with our meditation and we are interacting with people, to remember God is in everybody, and our heart is a flower. We offer it to them with those qualities of a flower. I hope that helps as well.
Thank you, Baba. Thank you. Vairagyananda Ji?
So one point I would like to add, Baba, which you already mentioned, you actually hit the important point. One aspect is we do 1 or 2 times our practice, but what is most important than to become aware the rest of the day, that can give the real satisfaction. And another important thing, what Guruji mentioned, that you can be satisfied with everything, but not with the spiritual practice. Because once you're satisfied with the spiritual practice, then you don't get the inspiration to practice more. It is better to have a little bit of dissatisfaction so that we keep on moving on our goal. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Wonderful. Now, this second question is sort of related to that. Can you discuss the importance of being content with our meditation practice? Vairagyananda Ji, can you elaborate a little bit?
Baba, in the Bhagavad Gita, in the chapter 12, it is a Santushta Satatam Yogi. Who is a yogi? One who is content all the time, but not to be content with the spiritual practice. So, as I said, it is better to have a little bit discontentment from the spiritual practice so that we keep on moving on our life. But the best thing, you do your best. Leave the rest to God and the Gurus. They will take care.
Good,
Thank you.
Yeah, our gurus remind us that we need to be steadfast with our practice, sit down twice a day or more and try. But then what happens during that, and we bring that love for the masters, then after that, the gurus lead on to us. So yes, we should not be content with having done enough. We should try to do more, but not be distracted that we are not doing it well. We try our best, and the gurus will bless us, and they will do their part in taking us to realization as well.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you, Baba. Now, the next question. When we think of the masters, are they with us immediately? We have been told that when we call Babaji, 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 he is with us immediately. Is there a subtle way that if we are going through a big illness or great emotional pain, if we call on masters and surrender to them, are they able to help us? Let me take a stab at it. There are 2 parts that I see in here. If we call Babaji Maharaj, Babaji Maharaj, Babaji Maharaj, will he appear or will he help me right away? It needs that intense connection with Babaji. It's not just when there is some problem that I'm going to ask for Babaji and Babaji will come and appear. Because Babaji Maharaj had blessed Lady Baba. He said that whenever you need, you can call me and I will be there. And from the book, Autobiography of a Yogi, if you all remember, Lady Baba wanted to show everybody else, his students, the presence of Babaji Maharaj, and Babaji Maharaj did not like that. So it is important to have that connection to ask the help from the masters. But at the same time, our masters, all the masters, they have taken a vow that they will not reach the culmination, they will not go to the freedom state until each and every Kriyavan has attained liberation. Now, this is a beautiful vow that they have taken. It brings tears to your eyes when you see the masters taking that vow. Then that, if they have said that in sincerity, then we need to have equal sincerity whenever there is pain, there is discomfort, there is situation in the family, and that help will come. Without question, we need to pray, and that prayer will be answered. Baba, please add.
So, Babaji Maharaj has told Lahiri Mahasaya that anytime any of my devotee would remember me, pray me sincerely, the person will definitely get my help. So here my personal feeling is when we maintain more of inner awareness, when we dedicate all our activities to God and the Gurus, so we find there's a strong force guiding our life. And that force is really so strong, it is so real, even it is much more real than we are talking and discussing among each other. But of course, this is very personal, and one can experience through one's own experiment.
And so the story, this question brings a perspective to mind. I remember a story by Sri Ramakrishna where a person asks him, how do we get the grace of God? And Sri Ramakrishna says, look, the grace of God, of the Gurus, is always there. You just have to make the effort to experience that. And he gave the example of a sailboat. He said, if you have a sailboat in the water, for it to catch the wind, you have to raise the sail. Then the wind will automatically catch the mast and the sail and move the boat along. So this question about when we think of the masters, will they be there? I think of it in a little different way. When we meditate, we know the presence of God, the masters, is within us. The soul is within us. In our Kriya practice, we are taught to remember the masters in different chakras. So they are always there. And I see this question as more of, am I doing the right things? Am I doing more to feel their presence? So to have faith that they are always there, but to focus more with love and perceive their presence. And then that connection happens. They are always really there with us.
Beautiful. Very
So,
nice.
one more point coming to my mind, Baba, in the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 9, and there is a verse that says, Ananyas chintayanta mam, ye janaha paripasate, tesham nityabhyuktanam yogakshama vahmyaham. So in this verse, God is basically promising the devotee, I will come directly to help you, not that I provide some support. If you are committed with your own path, if you think of me all the time, if you dedicate yourself to me all the time, you will see I am there to help you. This reminds me in the Bhagavad Gita.
Beautiful.
In the same line, I'm going to take another question here. Is please elaborate on God consciousness. If we talk about consciousness, when we are awake and we are using our 5 sense organs, then we are conscious of our environment. We are conscious of things around us. We are conscious of our thoughts. So that is pure normal consciousness. But when we are thinking about God, that is God consciousness. Now, how do we think about God? Do we feel God within us? Do we feel that this body is functioning because God is pulling the breath through my nose? Or is my ego saying that I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm doing this, I'm doing that? So if that consciousness of perceiving the presence of the divine within me, I would see that as God consciousness. Let me start with that. And Vairagyananda Ji?
So, Baba, when we have a higher goal in life, so we tend to spend more time on higher consciousness. And in Kriya, it is very specifically, we have been told, like breath awareness is God awareness. And when you become conscious of our own breath, and the breath awareness can filter all the negative thoughts, and one can receive all the positive inspiration, the high ideal thoughts all the time, and one can naturally maintain that, the higher consciousness, which we can call a God consciousness.
With Baba?
Well, I relate to what you were saying, that who is it that who's pulling the breath within us? And this kind of a contemplation leads you to a feeling of a power within me, which is really nurturing me. I'll share another example. Imagine that you're doing something and you strike your hand and hurt yourself, and maybe there's blood in the fingers. In that moment, if you were to contemplate, the entire body feels that pain, tears come to the eye. And then you wonder, who is it within me who is feeling this hurt like a mother would feel the hurt of a child? And then who over time is healing that wound? Who during the day is reminding us that we need to take food for our body by making us hungry? Who in the night, puts us to sleep and eases our worries and concerns, and in the morning again wakes us up and says, there's a beautiful day ahead of you. So if we contemplate in this way, you can realize that there's always this awareness, this consciousness within us, nurturing us, taking care of us. We just don't notice that. To me, that is, we use this term God, unless we are realized, we perhaps don't really understand what God is. But with a little contemplation, we can see that somebody is taking care of us every day, providing the opportunities. And it is just that we are not aware of that. So when we turn our consciousness to that, our awareness to that, I feel we are on a path to be God conscious.
Good, thank you. When there are questions and answers, usually in these shows, they say that you have a lifeline, you have additional support in this. I have a lifeline here. I got Manoj Panda sitting here. He's very well-read person. And Manoj Baba, can you give your opinion about God consciousness? What is God consciousness?
Thank you, Kriya, and pranam to all. God consciousness to me is two ways. One way is that you get the feelings from your teacher. Teacher says that, okay, I feel the presence of God. Then you read from the great masters. You say that you feel that the God is there. That is external, that you get it from outside source who you trust. That's one. The second one is personal. So personal is that how you feel it. So Rad Guruji has told me in his personal interaction with me for many times, he says that watching the breath is the sutra, the thread, the Brahma Sutra. Brahma Sutra is a sutra, one of the meaning of the Sanskrit of is thread. So that is the thing which is breathing within us. So this body is the external part which is active. That the link is the breath. And that breath is the direct perception of God consciousness. And that breath is also
giving life to all around us. Even the plants, they also breathe in very different ways. Animals breathe, human beings breathe, and also the breath is within us and breath is outside us, that air. So that gives us that the feeling that God is universal, which is within us, giving life to me, also is giving life to the universe around me and the beings around me. So that is the way I perceive the God consciousness.
Thank you, Baba.
I want to read a question which is a little long, but is sincere. I have a question. Could you please shed some light on the meaning of Sutra 2.1 of Sage Patanjali, especially with respect to the meaning of the Sanskrit word tapaha? In the book Humble Harirananda on page 243, Gurudev advises to recite the Gayatri mantra. There I also read Om Tapaha. What can I do to, okay, let's take these two parts. First part of the question in Patanjali's Yoga Sutra, where Sage Patanjali is talking about Kriya Yoga, tapaha swadhyaya ishvara pranina. That tapaha is karma. That tapaha means any sadhana. That tapaha is different from the tapaha that Baba Hariharanandaji has written about in his book. In that context, that tapaha relates to the 7 levels of existence. Om bhuhu, Om bhuvaha, Om swaha, Om maha, Om tapaha, Om naha, Om satyam. So that tapa, that is a little different. So the first meaning of tapaha is karma yoga, any effort, any sadhana. I'll leave at that and I'll take your input, Baba Vairagyananda Giri and Amit Baba.
So, couple of thoughts coming to my mind. First of all, the Gayatri mantra, she's asking. So the Gayatri mantra that we chant, so we, out of 7 planes of existence, we only take 3. Om Bhu Bhuva Swaha 3. But the whole Gayatri mantra is taking all the 7 plane of existence. And here when Gurudev is saying Om Tapaha, so Tapaha is in our soul center. The 7 planes of existence can be outside and inside the body. And when it is inside the body, it can be connected to our chakras. So in the chakras, so this is the place that is connected to tapaha. So tapaha means sincere spiritual practice. Tapaha means karma yoga, Baba, as you said. Tapaha means to remain more in the soul center. And what Guruji has mentioned, that tapaha means breath awareness. In the body, the temperature is maintained because of the breath. And when we become aware of the breath, and naturally we can raise our consciousness to our soul center, and we can remain in the tapaloka, that is a plane of existence. Yeah, thank you.
And just to add to what Suresh Baba was saying, tapa is sadhana, is austerities. So for our Kriya practitioners, tapa is nothing but practice of Kriya. So if when we practice Kriya, either during our daily meditation sessions or practice Kriya by watching the breath, we are always following tapa as per the instructions of the Guru.
Thank you, Baba. Thank you. And this question continues, what can I do to see more light during meditation? Baba, any help?
Baba, I will just share, and it is answer this by saying that, you know, we get caught up in trying to perceive light, sound, or pulsations. But our gurus also remind us that really the end goal of our meditation, or the goal for our meditation, is not so much about these qualities. It is to transcend them and to feel that power, that presence, which might be leading to that qualities. But specifically for light, I will just add two things. One is, of course, to make sure that you're doing the technique properly. We are not going to talk about the technique here, but if you have questions about the technique, you should see a teacher and make sure that the posture, the steps of doing the technique is proper. And then second to that, often our distracted mind prevents us from perceiving these divine perceptions. So when someone says that I'm not able to see the light, I ask them, focus more. Is it truly that you see an uniform darkness and there's nothing to be seen, or there is some variation, there is some gradation? And then you will see in that we get focused with that. And then not only you see some light or perceptions, you're drawn more to what Kriya is all about, to that power which is within you, and the other distractions fade away. So do the technique properly, concentrate more, and ultimately transcend the desire to see these qualities, and then you'll have a better meditation.
Right, he's giving a hint. Go ahead, Baba.
I was saying, Baba, any spiritual experience is a grace. Whether we experience sound, light, or vibration, whatever we use, it comes as a grace. So I would say, keep on doing your part. The grace will come next. And the person, Baba, I think, asking what to see when you see the light. When you see the light, try to penetrate more into the light. And as Gurudev said, when you experience light in Jyoti Mudra, that can nullify the negative effect of the stars and planets. Thank you.
Right. In this question that he's saying, what can I do to see more light during meditation? So he's saying that he or she is saying that there is light, but want to see more. And then this continues. Sometime during or after Jyoti Mudra, I see a rock-like 3D object floating in space with the white light around it. This never lasts long. Should I try to penetrate this light as Yogananda Ji proclaims in his lessons? Vairagyananda Ji?
First of all, as I said, it comes as a grace.
You're right. But you know, this person is fortunate that seeing this 3D object floating in the air and then has got light around it. Like Vairagyananda.
We may not see the light.
Sorry?
What did I say? I forgot. So I said the light, whatever comes, accept it as a grace. Because the moment we analyze, it goes away.
But you were saying that, you know, if you see light, penetrate that light.
Yeah. So when you see the light, try to remain more in the light. And it try to penetrate more in the light, but not to analyze too much.
Right, yeah. So 3D object floating in the space with light around it, just watch it.
Just watch it, yeah.
Both Amit Baba, Vairagyananda, I did not see the question that came in this morning, but let me take these other couple of questions. And Amit Baba, have you read?
Yes, Baba. In fact, maybe I'll read out one of the questions, which is also in the chat window, and this was also submitted to us. In the sutra readings we did for our Wednesday Zoom group session, it says you should be detached even from spiritual growth. But I find it impossible not to long for even more connection with Divine Mother. Is that desire considered an attachment and wrong? Please explain. Suresh Baba,
I do not think that desire is wrong. Because, you know, there are desires which have got selfish motive. Now, this is some connection, some divine connection that the person has attained already. So that is good. You know, you want to have more, and ultimately you merge into that and you become one with that. That's the goal of our sadhana. So this is good.
In Yoga Sutra, I think Sage Patanjali is talking about the Vairagya, the detachment, the two types of Vairagya. One is Apara Vairagya and Para Vairagya. So in Apara Vairagya, one try to stage away from all the worldly attraction, all the sensual objects, try to stay away. But in the Para Vairagya, in the highest state of detachment, one even doesn't care about one's own spiritual growth or God realization. One is so much detached. But these are different stages of a spiritual seeker. So in the ordinary, in the initial state, one should try to stay away from all the distraction. But eventually, when one achieves that state, one even doesn't care for anything in the life. It's a guna vaitrishnam.
And the teaching of Gurudev comes to mind, you know, as Suresh Baba said, that desires can be for external objects, and those are really lesser desires. We know those are perishable. We get them, we lose them, and really there is no ultimate satisfaction in them. But then the next level of desire is we often pray to God and gurus for things that we need. And in some sense, that is fine. That is still bringing God consciousness. In fact, there in the Durga Saptasati, there is a section called Argala Mantra, where the prayer is, the seeker is asking for different things to the Divine Mother. Rupam Dehi, Jayam Dehi, Yasho Dehi, give me fame, give me beauty, give me victory, and so on. That is a prayer. That is still to the Divine Mother. That is also fine. That is better than the mundane material objects. But then Gurudev explains that he says, look, the Divine Mother, and since this question referred to the Divine Mother, I thought this was appropriate to talk about this. He says the Divine Mother has 10 hands. She is standing before you. You're praying with your 2 hands, and she is willing to give. But how much will you hold when her grace descends on you? How much will you hold when she gives with 10 hands? Is it not better, instead of asking for what we can hold in our 2 little hands, to just say that, Mother, lift me up and hold you. Let me be with you. And then what more do I need after that?
Right. There's only gratitude after that. There's no desire. Let me get this question in. Should one speak of God to one who does not believe in God? No. Guruji has very vehemently said that, don't try to convert people. If they do not believe in God, it is not your job to make them believe in God. You stay with your belief. Vairagyananda ji?
Baba, if you want to sell your product to someone who is not interested in your product, what do you do? you create certain desire in the mind of the person that I need this one. That's it. These business companies, they create the desire. So first of all, to create certain desire in the mind of the person, and then eventually when the person is interested, then to talk about it. And the Kriya is the best possible path, because you really don't have to believe in God to practice Kriya. Many times people come, you don't have to believe in God. You just practice it and everything will come slowly.
Right.
And my perspective is, as I said, how many of us really know what God is? We use the term, but how many of us really know what God is? But what is important, I think, in a spiritual practice is to just have this awareness that there is a higher power. There's a power within me, which is making me function. We call it the breath, or, the things, who's digesting our food, who is nourishing us. And just being aware that there is a power is enough, I think, to then learn more about it and feel that presence in every action, and realize that there is something else which is beyond my ego, which is making me do. That leads to humility, that leads to transformation, in my opinion.
Very nice.
Baba, there are a couple of questions in the chat window related to mantras. Maybe I'll throw them in and ask you and Vairagyananda ji for your perspective on that.
Baba, can I interrupt? Just
Sure, Baba.
Manoj Baba has.
Okay.
This is a very beautiful question, because when I heard that, it came to me one incident in autobiography Yogi. Even in Paramahansa Yogaranja's family, his own brother-in-law, horse, the horse doctor, he didn't believe. And how did he convince that God is there? Is that you have to solve their problems. For example, everybody has a problem. Somebody has health problem, somebody has money problem, somebody has family problem, somebody has all kinds, any kind of problem. So what happens when a master, realized master, thinks that how he convince about God? He doesn't talk about God. He says that, okay, you have a problem, and let me help you. Let me solve it. So when the problem is solved, then he doesn't talk about even God at that time. So when you help somebody, when you solve their problem, when you give their love, kindness, so they say that, hey, where you are getting this from? How I can have that? How I can solve my own problem? So when that question comes in, then that's automatically the inward, that urge to come, that what is the source, that where I can solve my problems, where I can get peace, where I can get happiness. So that thing will automatically help to know, the explore and inquire about God. And then Guru steps in to understand that, okay, here it is. Thank you.
Baba. Okay, Amit Baba.
Two questions on mantra. I'll paraphrase these two and we can answer. If you have limited time, which mantra is more powerful and should be chanted? Is it Om Namo Bhagavate or Gayatri mantra or Mahamrityunjaya? So this question is on specific mantras. Then there's another question on mantra which says, in between concentrating and perceiving, mantra is important or silence is important? For me, silence feels much more peaceful. So a question on which mantra might be helpful, and another question that instead of mantra, just experiencing the silence, is that also okay? Suresh Baba?
Go ahead, Vairagyananda.
Okay.
So regarding the silence part, if the person is truly feeling inner silence and no thought coming, then no need to remember or chant any mantra. If the mind is still restless, different thoughts are coming, instead of getting all kind of distracted thoughts, better to stick to any mantra, and that will eventually help you to concentrate more. And regarding the three mantras, different mantras are chanted for different purposes. And it is up to the person which mantra the person is connected or feel like chanting. And usually the mantra is received from a teacher, not to chant on its own. But if the person finds certain connection to any specific mantra, can chant, not a problem.
That's beautiful. That covers it.
That's all the questions in the Zoom window, chat window.
Okay. Well, we are there, 11:44. If you could guide meditation, Baba, and we can conclude the program.
Okay. So thank you everyone for participating in the question and answer today. So we'll close the program with a small meditation. Let us close our eyes. Keep your spine straight wherever you're sitting. If you're sitting on the floor or on the chair, please keep your spine straight. Bring your concentration, your attention in between the two eyebrows. Not to observe, to become aware of your breath. When you become aware of your breath, that is where you are chanting the mantra. It is known as ajapa japa, unchantable chanting. Continuously watching the breath is chanting the mantra. If you practice any specific mantra, if you have any connection to any specific mantra, with the breath, you can also remember the mantra. Those who practice Kriya Yoga, you know how to connect to the divine sound. Breath awareness can lead to the God awareness. Keeping your concentration in between the two eyebrows, please take a deep breath. Inhale, hold, just bend in the front, do a little bow, and exhale. Tat vidhi pranipatena, offering prayer, bowing at the feet of God and the Gurus. Take one more breath. Inhale, hold, sit straight, and exhale. Keep the spine straight. Concentrate in between the two eyebrows. Now practice deep breathing few times. Few pranayama techniques. Inhale deeply. Hold your breath. Exhale. Inhale deep. Hold the breath. Exhale. Inhale with love, hold. Exhale. Inhale, hold. Exhale. Inhale, hold, and exhale. Meditate silently for a few moments. In between the two eyebrows, concentrate. Try to transcend all the thoughts. Feel the connection inner alertness. Prashanta Manasam, experience the stillness, extreme quietness within. We'll offer our prayer to God and the Gurus. If you like, you can bend forward and offer your prayer, or you can sit straight after your prayer with folded hands. We pray to God, we pray to the Masters to bless us, give us inner strength to pursue, to continue our spiritual journey till we reach the goal. Thank you all. My humble pranams to all of you. Thank you. Pranam Baba, Suresh Baba, Amit Baba.
Thank you, everyone.